Welcome back. Troops of the Nigerian Army's 6th Division in Port Harcourt discovered over 40 abandoned crude oil wells in the Rumuekpe town in River State and Emohua local government area on Wednesday, providing a significant boost to the fight against illicit oil theft. Now, Major General Jamal Abdussalam, the general officer commanding 6th Division, led the forces in a sweep and clear operation in the Trans Niger Delta Pipeline, which resulted in the discovery of the site. Now, over the weekend, we can recall that former President of Nigeria, Olusegun Obasanjo, stated that a significant portion, more than 80% of Nigeria's crude oil is being stolen. Also, Enoch Adeboye, General Overseer of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, also claimed the government confirmed that 80% of Nigeria's oil production is lost to theft. Joining us live in the studio also is Dr. Ganiyu Oluwashola, who is the FCTI Managing Partner, KDB Professional Services. He's also a public affairs analyst, and he's here with us alongside Mr. Sheson Okwade, who also is a public affairs analyst and a chartered accountant. A very, very good morning again to you gentlemen for being here.
Good morning, David, once again.
Thank you for having me.
I kind of get interested to see how the both of you banter who is the biggest and who is not the biggest. You came in a few minutes ago and you said, when I see my Oga.
You know who is the biggest. You know they come with glasses.
All right, let's get to it almost immediately. Well, I'm going to stay with you, Dr. Ganiyu. The presidency seemed to be doing quite a lot in trying to curb oil theft that have bedeviled our society for a very long time. What do you make of this development precisely?
Yeah, it's a good one. And it's also a good development. You know, when you are uncovering a lot of things that is weakening the economy and that is having an inimical effect to our growth, it's called for an applaud. But the question we should ask ourselves, who are the people behind the oil theft? Who is the one? You see, the oil that was just being discovered, it's a 40 feet duct. This is not just getting a hole and a cutlass, digging something. You need a heavy machine to dig it. It's just like somebody digging or trying to have a borehole, right? It's going to pass through some routes. It's going to pass through where some government parastatals are. You cannot tell me that even the authorities are not aware of this. And a layman like me and you does not even have the capacity, the ability to dig that kind of thing. So now saying that you don't know where, it's just like saying that a oil ship that is full with crude oil got missing on the oil space on our seashore. When we have a lot of parameters that monitor what comes into the country and what moved outside the country, it's a good one, uncovering it. But the question is that not just uncovering it, who permitted them to dig it? Who approved the digging? Who are the people behind? Who is the masquerade? You know, in the school of law, elementary law, we talk about removing the veil of incorporation. Let's know who is behind the cloth calling himself as the big masquerade. These people need to be body shamed and needs to be brought to the open and shows that these are the people behind this and they need to be disciplined. Some people need to be used as a deterrent, right? Yes, it's a good one. You uncovered it, a 40 feet, and you see the man said that it's amazing. You might not know that something like this, you need to go deep. Then you even need a ladder to be able to assess it. Then the question that people are getting improved on this awkward way of doing business day in, day out. But until we nip to the board, the people that are behind this, you say you can't just pick those people you found on the field and arrest them. No. We need to go for the big ones, for the big fish, and say that these are what is happening. And these are things that have been going around for many years. You talk about saying that, 80% of our oil is being stolen. It's not only Pastor Deboye that talked about it. Tony Elumelu talked about it.
Oh, yes.
Austin, the former the CEO of Surplus, talked about it. Then arithmetically, let's go into the calculation one. We have 100%. 80% of what should be an income is being stolen. And nobody is saying anything about it. Right? Nobody, technocrats are saying it. Even people in the business are saying it.
Does that does that bring to the fore that there might be some really very big cabal that are very untouchable to really bring to book?
So if big cabals are there, you can't bring them to book. Then stop telling us that it's being stolen. Let's even ignore. You understand? Why will you tell me that something is stolen and you can't meet to the board? The people that are behind it. So giving me such information. If out of 100%, 80% goes into some private pocket, you know, they can't hide it all. They can't keep it in their home. They need to sell it to some people. Why are the people buying it? Is the money being given to them in cash? It needs to pass through CBN too, through government regulated authority, through some bank account. What happened to those bank accounts? Those bank accounts has KYC. You know those people. So why do we distort? Why are we deceiving ourselves? And we also have the information that out of the 20% left, there should be a revenue to us. 90% of it is used to service the debt. So what is remaining for us? So day in, day out, some specific people, some certain people have been enriched. They are now bigger than the country. So why can't we not even wind up Nigeria and say that they are the one ruling the country? The reason for government is just, I was saying in a forum yesterday, give it to the Prince of Dubai. When the man came into power, he's a prince. Yeah. When he came into power, he noticed that the big cabal, the so-called big boys, they are the one that is plunging Dubai into where it was. So you know what he did? He took around 100 of them. He got them. He didn't arrest. He didn't lock them in the prison. He got the best hotel in town in Dubai. He lodged them in there. He told them that everything you need to eat, to drink, and to refresh is there. Just taking your wife there. The only thing is that you are not going anywhere. You will sleep, watch the TV, make calls, but you are not living. And he said that he moved to them one after the other. I know you were given a contract worth $2 billion. And you only spend $1 billion. Where is the remaining $1 billion? Right? He spoke to them one after the other. You know, a lot of argument and this thing. There's no problem. Stay there. Do you know, within 2 weeks, he was able to gather over $50 billion from them. They just need to, Mr. A has already given the government $500 billion. He's already home. What are you still waiting for? The one is, are you true? Why am I still sitting here? He also, and within 2 weeks, the man get over $50 billion, and he used it to stabilize the economy. So why can't we go through that route? All you just need, you know these people. They are your friends. You know them, you know where they are. You don't need to lock them into prison. We don't even want to hear about them. Just get a good hotel in Abuja, lock them there, get the money from them, and let them be released to go.
All right.
Mr. Shesone,
yes,
you know, when these people were being interviewed over the fact that they caught them, you know, digging out crude oil from the 40 feet pit that they dug, some of them were of the opinion that the pits belong to families and the community. And some of them also say the pit belongs to some community leaders too. And we know that, for example, in this River State, they have been crying for the neglect that some of the communities are facing, saying that the government come down to take what is in their land. They have oil spillage in the waters, and some other hazards are being exposed to, and nobody is giving them or looking to their direction. Now, do you think that they have decided to take laws into their hands, or take the mineral resources they have in their hands to be able to, you know, better or work on their land? Do you think that that should be the reason they decided to move into the digging of the crude oil themselves this time around?
Fina, it's a no. It's just because of the personal gain of some of the community leaders. And there was a question asked some times ago, and someone was saying, why are the kidnappers concentrating on the traditional leaders? they are well informed. The majority of them, the resources in their locality that is meant for the growth of everybody is actually being managed by very few. And they feel when they get hold of them, certain things will come out. So this being said that it's being owned by community, digging it for themselves, is a no for me. But speaking to the topic, I would want to toe the path of my brother, saying it's a good development. As a matter of fact, it's what is disheartening that can make people to cry on daily basis. Because when you uncover it, nothing is done. The suspect in question that you've heard that they are picked, they will still go their way. And why do I say this? After the happening in Ibadan, you heard the Minister of Solid Mineral coming to tell us, we all heard is in the public domain. Yeah. There are some cabals that are untouchable. So, maybe I will follow the aspect of him saying, don't tell us. Some of these things are done. Some of us who are really not experts in the oil business have suggested, if somebody can invest so much to dig that far and is tapping from the resources in different locations like that, is there no way we can legitimize this process in such a way that that money no longer go to an individual purse, but maybe a corporate entity who on its own pay taxes to the government and also produce those things and gives to them? Is a question I've actually been asking, because I look at the cost implication of that particular person to have carried out this illegal act. And the next minute, like they will always say, is possibly shut down that particular place, and the resources has gone, is now a waste by my own. Is there no parameters of us to say, okay, fine, this we have, because reading the story, people have lost their life in the process of digging down the well. Yeah. People have actually, a lot has happened. So this has actually been uncovered. Tapping from it, if that is just 2% of what is actually being taken out, we have recovered it. Okay, we are licensing you and we are putting a monitor or a control mechanism to know what is being produced here on daily basis, what is actually being exported, and what we can get from it as our revenue. I think that would be, because a lot of, we are hearing of 40 wells being uncovered. There are several uncovered. There are others that have been uncovered as we speak. We don't know what is happening to it.
Now, you just made mention of the fact that the topic we're talking about, 40 wells. And Dr. Gani made a very significant statement, which of course I was going to come to. An ordinary Nigerian like you and I would not be able to afford such projects. So in other words, there are some persons who are well-to-do, who is going that far to go and dig out what intends to be for the people. Now, my question is very simple. Now,
David, don't go far, not for the people, for themselves.
Okay. But this one actually is from the community, because it's more like the community actually are aware that this act is going on there and they're supporting it.
They are not supporting it. The community has no option.
No, you can tell me that, because the people who are doing this now, David, let's look at it this way. Who are doing this happy from this community?
The community.
Because they're the ones employing themselves to go and do it.
Fina, the community has no option. I can tell you that maybe one that have the brave act
to say no,
give this tip up to the military. This cannot be the decision of the military on covering.
Okay, how do you know it's a tip off? How do you know that things we are no longer going the way they should go?
That's what the man said.
They were aware before. Maybe they are to give them so amount of money, and those who think that, oh, we've been paying you so much, we don't have the ability to increase it, then we are going to shoot you at the leg. You know, the thing is just like saying that when two elephants fight, the grass suffers. So the only thing, you see that's where we talk about poverty, right? The people in the community will be given peanut to shut their mouth. You understand? So
that is if they give them
peanut,
anything.
right? Because if they didn't give them peanut, they are going to make noise. You understand? They come in a day. It's just like somebody coming and is stealing 100 million and is giving you 5,000, and you feel so happy, and you don't know the volume of what and the damage it's doing to you, right? You don't know the damage. So it's just like somebody saying that, give me your kidney, I'll give you 100 million. To you, he has done you so much thing.
It's a favor. You understand? You tell yourself.
You don't know that you have lost so much thing, right? So the thing is just like, all these things are what to be investigated. We need to get to the root, right? It's a tip off to the, you see, even this tip off, we call it whistleblowing. Okay. So the question is that if investigation go out through, those people that even blew the whistle, they will be nipped to the bud, because you will have tracks it to them that they are even part of the deal before. But because the goods were not going good again, so and the question is also that don't come up and arrest just people that have no people, right? Arrest who is who. Give these things to China. China does not give a hoop. There was a CEO of a multinational that got corrupt. Yes. They sentenced him to jail. But I won't mention the name on here. They sentenced him to jail by hanging. You see, once you use one or two people as a deterrent, no rich man wants to die. They quickly they check themselves and fold their hands.
I was going to ask you, Mr. Sheshma, at this point, what do you think the state government can do in collaboration with the federal government to at least manage this situation? Now, we made mention of the fact here that there are still some local refiners, even in some of these states. How can this be managed that we do not lose so much? 80% of the crude oil of this nation is being stolen away.
David, I will feel, my brother has said, let's investigate, bring out the main people. I want to toe the part to say, these people, to government, their act is illegal. To them, they are actually carrying out a business venture to enrich themselves. So there must be a common ground. Nobody is supporting in the illegality. They've seen an opportunity. Okay, can we now look for a way to see how we legalize this and get returns from them? Because as you are unveiling one, uncovering one, more are opening. And these people are becoming untouchable, even though you know them. So it's just like what he said. Can we put them together and say, okay, we've seen so much investment? Because these wells that you're talking about, if you ask so much money that has gone into it, it will run to billions. You have invested so much in an illegal way. Now, what are the records that you are keeping? These are so much that our record is saying that you're taking out of it. This is what is expected of you on monthly basis as remittance to the government. Now we are now legalizing that investment and monitoring it in such a way that they won't be diverted. But situations where we say it is illegal, shut it down, close it down. The man will say they have uncovered this based on tip-off. You know there's another one somewhere because they know more than the government. And they will go there again. You can imagine when the spokesperson of the military was saying that this is another area that they are uncovering, that the mode of operation is just beyond them. So when you get hold of this, when you are digging deep down 40 feet to have access to those things, is to tell you that on the surface, in fact, they can put a slab, you just pass on top, or you don't know that you are sitting on the well. So for me, I've said it, I don't know how it will work. I'm only talking from the perspective of a business person. Yes. Can we look for a way to call these big people that are untouchable and look for a way to make them, because what they are after is they want to create business and enrich themselves. If you set up a business, my brother, the essence of creating a business is for profitability. So when I know that I've been legally created to make money and give my returns to whosoever I need to make my remittances to, then I think we will be able to grow the business, because every day by day we keep uncovering the well and the level of theft keep increasing. So what are we achieving?
Now, I'm going to just switch to Dr. Gani on this. If the front page of the Guardian newspaper this morning is quite inciting. It says that Nigeria spends about 50% of all earnings on production costs. Now, that's not even where I'm going. It says, the subwriter, a pictorial there, said NNPC alone spent over 267.98 billion naira on securing its assets in 16 months, which means the entire industry could be spending about 1 trillion naira on insecurity in that period. Now, insecurity for me is key. Now, we just made mention of the fact that it looks totally like a tip-off, noting these oil wells. Isn't there a mechanism, or can there be a mechanism that the security operatives that man these states can manage well to secure that environment without us having to go about spending this amount of money? 1 trillion naira within a space of how many months? 16 months. That's to tell you that we might be going into a very serious problem if care is not taken. So, isn't there like a measure that can be taken?
A man, an institution, and an organization spending over 1 trillion on security. Ask me the profits. NNPC have never turned in a profit of 1 trillion. Right. So the question is that, is it a profitable venture or unprofitable ventures? It's just like we all keep saying, that doing the same thing the same way and expecting different results. Zig Ziglar said that is a sign of insanity. Right? When you're trying to rejuggle and restructure NNPC, why do you still keep the group MD still there?
Oh, well, that's another conversation for
right?
another day.
No, you understand. And if these are the pedigree, these are the history of what is going on, this, and you still think that this is still the man fit to still be there, it's just that we don't want a different. We don't even want an improvement in that field. So why are we clamoring a change of government? Because we believe that the past government, the past administration did not do well. That's why a campaigner or a political party said that, let me come in, I'll do well. Right? Yeah. So if you now see somebody running a place for over 8 years, and there's no laudable result, and you still keep that person there, what is it telling us? Right? What was he trying to tell us? So these are things that need to be put in place, because these are things that have been running over and over and over again. Over 1 trillion naira for security, and it's not being secure. I'm securing the place, they're still Ayatopolo, right?
Oh, yes, I was also going to go there.
So the question is that who is deceiving who, right? And we are still wasting our natural resources on things that are frivolous, not making sense in an economical way.
Can there not be a level of revamping of our security system within that axis?
That's the question they say. Let it become PPP, public-private partnership, right? A private man knows how to run things for business-oriented, right? Before, let me go take you down the history line. Before now, you know what we use before the telecommunication comes on board. I don't want to call their name, so we are not advertising. You know what Nigeria used before? How we queue at the queue, pulling the bus, using our card, throwing a coin there, queuing there.
Making your calls.
So when they came on board, when it's not sufficient, they throw it out to the public. A communication network comes and says we can't do per minute, we can't do per second, we only do per minute. Is sweep Nigeria out there. So when you have a mobile card, then you're a big boy, because it's been sold for over 33,000 naira then, right? And now another communication says that we can do per second. So the former ones that say we can't do per second, we now realize we can do per second. Competition come, monopoly is broken, right? So these are things that we are expecting, and not now trolling it. You know, we got it wrong when it got to PSC here. You know, during the telecommunication, it was a round peg in a round hole. But when it comes to PSCN, we now put a round peg in a square hole. We look for business owners, not the technical people, not the people that have a business, not the people that have the interest of the country at heart, right? We just give it to people for business sake, and that's why we did not see improvement. Why can't we try to do a lot of things? And you know, I keep on mentioning Samaramco in Saudi Arabia. It's being run as if it's a business, right? And for an organization, business entity, turning in over $40 billion. And if you are converting it to Nigeria, going to trillions or quadrillion, not even trillion, right? And our own almighty NNPC has never turned in up to $1 trillion profit. And we are using up more than $1 trillion for security. Who does that?
So what do you think we should do at this time? Looking, okay, you just gave us this and saying that NNPC has not turned in, up to that particular amount of money, but they've been spending it on security and other things. So what are we going to do to make sure that, we reverse or the reverse happen to be the case?
The government talk about restructuring Nigeria, but let's talk about restructuring NNPC for remove all their boards, put in the fresh blood, and also bring in some people that are well-to-do. Let them partner with. A lot of oil giants is going. When you look at Shell, Shell was part of Oloibiri for discovery. And Shell said, we are leaving the shore of Nigeria. For them to say they are leaving, my fear is that, in the early 70s and late 70s, still, what we have our Dele Alake, is the Minister of Mining. You say, they mine, we have expatriate. They bring in their equipment and every other thing. The same way what happened then, they left the country. And they now leave it into the hands of the crude miners that does not have the technicality, they don't have the equipment, they don't have the technical know-how. And so we lost revenue from that range. Do you get it? And a lot of people, there some miscreants there, are now using it as an opportunity to siphon money there to enrich themselves. Right? And if these people that are having equipment are stylishly living in Nigeria, I'm afraid. Right? I'm afraid. These are things we need to go down the history, come back to drawing board, and see how we can mark the past from the present to be able with the present and know how we can create a good future for the country.
Mr. Sheson,
yes.
You people were talking about cabals, mentioning cabals and cabals all this while, but we know that the rule of power, the rule of law actually supersedes every other thing. Nobody actually is above the law. So now what do you think actually we need to do to take out the cabals? We have these cabals now in the oil sector. We have the cabals also in the political sector, among the political elites and all that. So how do we now take out these cabals?
Yeah, well, cabals have been in existence before the creation of Nigeria. It's in existence and will continue to be. But part of the things I will continue to suggest is when this is the problem, these are people, the people you are calling cabal are actually investing to get money and enrich themselves the more.
Yeah.
But they are going the crooked way. Is there a way we can have an handshake and allow their investment to speak to it? Like he said, Samaramco in Saudi is a private company. And they are doing, if you give this thing in the hands of private sector, you will see minimal of this illegal oil bunkering going on. Because a businessman wants to sustain and allow the business to outlive him. But most in the hands of the government it's nobody's business, and that's why they can spend so much on securing something that is not securable, or that we are not getting value for what is being secured. And day by day, we are seeing a lot of illegal wells, mining points, and the other area. But if you are allowing those who understand the business, and you sit down to have a policy, have something that guides their deliverables and what to be remitted to the government, I think we'll have a better way of it. So you have so many of Saudi Aramco, coming up in our oil and gas. A lot of people who have understanding of what should be done in the power sector. We take out nepotism, we take out my friends, we talk about those that understand the business. He is someone who exercises in finance. I major in power. You major in telecoms. We all have our strength. Let those who, it's not about because Shola is there, is my friend. What can I gain and get from him in something that I don't have understanding of? Until we are sincere with ourselves in putting the right peg in the right hole and taking so much from the government, from the hands of the government, and put in the hands of the private people, giving them the policy, the regulations that will be adhered to strictly. then we'll start getting the revenue
All right.
that is expected
Thank you so
to
very
grow
much,
the nation.
Mr. Sesson Okwade. Now, I'd like to just take just maybe 30 seconds, your final thoughts on this. Nigerians seem to have a bit of trust deficit right now. And but then, do you think that the political elites presently have the willpower to carry out some of these things that we have suggested as solutions to this problem? Maybe in 30 seconds, really, because we're pressed for time.
Political will is what drives an organization and also a country to do well. When our president comes in and stops subsidy, people give him a thumb up. It's a political will, right? So, and they like also came and said that there are some people, don't touch them or don't go there if you want to live long. It's also another political will. Don't get it. And also, I want to just conclude on this. You see, it's not about the government, this illegal thing. Government is also losing revenue. You see, when you talk about illegal, it's not brought on the table. There's no tax, there's a tax evasion. No revenue is coming. No revenue is coming to the government. Nothing is coming to the government. So the government is losing on both sides. Why can't the government take a both side? Okay, I don't want to lose from the both side. Bring it like this, and so I get my revenue. I find something to be able to do the country well, and also everybody enjoy.
All right, thank you so very much, Mr. Gani Olushola, FCTI Managing Partner, KJB Professional Services. It was indeed a pleasure having you here this morning. And also, yes, another of our major guests, Mr. Olusegun Okwade, Policy and Public Affairs Analyst, and of course, a chartered accountant who is, you want to say something?
And the masquerade.
I actually had to make him do that. All right,
thank you very much for having us. Thank you.
Okay, well, VOP this morning will be continuing with the business just in a jiffy. Stay with us.
When your morning starts, make sure to look around for the right